Okay, in this video, I'm going to talk about, I guess I'd say it's when strangers out in public treat you wrong. I guess that's what I would call it. Like for example, I just went into a store in Michael's, and it kind of reminded me, no situation happened that I was treated poorly, but it gave me, I remember this, of asking Adam recently if he's ever been into a store, just a variety store, I don't know, and any kind of store, and somebody treated him like he did not belong there. He shouldn't have been there. And he said yes. Okay, Adam's from a country from across the globe. That's not an excuse, but I know that people do that. Okay, believe me, I've known him 36 years. I'm well aware of how people, it's changed over the years. It's gotten better. But with the climate these days, you don't know what's getting better and what's getting worse. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Actually, when he and I were married, we've been divorced. This month will be 17 years. But when he and I were married, we got married when I was 18. Back in those days in the 80s and, part of the 90s and everything, especially the 80s. 80s was a good time, but it happened, as time has progressed, it's gotten better. Not so much happening, but people would, when they saw he and I together, like at a store, anywhere out in public, people, strangers would look down on me. And believe me, they would say things. Because I was with him, he's from a different country, different ethnic group. And mine has, is classified as white. Okay, just to say white. I don't like saying white. But yeah, and people treated me, like I was doing something wrong by being with him. Okay. Yeah. And as time, years went by, many years went by, finally, I don't get that feeling from people so much anymore, but I have seen it with one of my sisters married, she has a stepdaughter who's Hispanic, and I've seen my sister treated, when the daughter was a young child, I saw my sister treated that way. I witnessed it happening, in a store. That kind of thing. Now, whenever that's happened, okay, and it's gotten better. People, I don't like the word tolerant, because what are you doing? Tolerating what, I just don't like that word. But people understand and respect diversity, change, difference, respect differences. Not change, it doesn't have to be changed, but it is changing. Anyway, stream of consciousness went on there. But, yeah, now when I go into a store, I'm by myself, I still I think that, I internalized it too much, wasn't even aware of it when I was younger, that I internalized that feeling of, you don't belong here. Back then it was that he and I as a couple don't belong. You see what I'm saying? But it was often in public, which would have been in some kind of a store, restaurant, something like that. Now, I don't know if he had done that. I was young, 18, and, but, I guess it did happen to me that I internalized it. And recently, past, I don't know how many years, but how long, but I've been letting it come to the surface and, going through it and saying, why am I doing this? Because I'm, I'm 54 and I can go into some stores and feel like people are, treating me a certain way because they don't think that I should be there by myself. I'm by myself, not with him. And sometimes it's a feeling like they're doing that thing I've mentioned quite often, infantilizing me, treating me like a child, or treating me like I'm an outcast, or it's not always, it's not everybody. So don't think I've got some bigger problem working here that I always see it, because I don't. But sometimes I get that feeling, and just sometimes. So. I've been thinking about it more, and I think it is that I internalized it, and, there's what is it? Which one is it? Hypervigilance? Something that you might feel a little bit too much, Okay, but the question really is it happening? Or is it just in my mind? Well, the thing about that is it has happened. It is sometimes it is happening. I can't think of a time that I really got a feeling that it was just me doing it, because their actions would tell the the story too, you know. Now I've had gone into a store and saw somebody immediately, just recently. There was a guy probably young enough to be my son, and well, he was young enough to be my son, and he was an adult, and probably 30 maybe, and just looking at him, glancing, he and I just kind of connected eyes, like right at the same time. We were looking over something, and I felt, this is a nice guy. This is a good person. This is one of the empaths, you know, empathetic people. Yeah, I mean, it just boom in my mind. So sometimes I do see nice people, you know. And he smiled at me, and I smiled at him, you know, and he wasn't after me, you know, and that kind of thing. So, you know, it was just a nice person. Probably shocked these days seeing somebody else who feels like a nice person, not somebody out to get you. I'm serious, you know, I've already said I live in Narcissismville. So yeah, it's, you know, you're going to run across a lot of rude people here. It's known for that. It has an actual reputation for it. Okay, not me. It's not my reputation I gave it. It's one that's been going on since before I ever lived here, before I even knew about this place. This area was actually, they say it's the suburb, but it's actually an area of this suburb and one of them a little bit north of here that continues to connect. So yeah, just like a few roads that run parallel to one another and up. So yeah, but yeah, you know, it's not just me. But anyway, that can happen. It's like that time I went to that church in this suburb, and their only question, you know, was for joining a women's group, and their only question was whether I live here in the suburb. And yes, I do live in the suburb, you know. And it was so offensive to me because it was a sense of snobbery. Like, and if you don't live in the suburb, we don't want you here kind of attitude. Ooh, you know, a church, okay? No, bad. It was around 2005, I guess, and when that happened. I don't know. I've been to a church or two, you know, I've mentioned this in a video recently, since then, but when it's all about money, it's a major turn off. And this suburb is a lot about money. Okay, so it's a turn off. Anyway, I am definitely doing the stream of consciousness in this one. To go with the flow, you know, whatever flows out. Yeah, kind of one. But video. But anyway, have you felt that? Have you felt like you go into a store, or you know, you go shopping somewhere, and maybe, you know, today I don't have makeup on. I was wanting to get out so bad I didn't even bother. I was thinking my hair was a little bit too still wet, and I was just wanting to hurry up and get out. Didn't even bother thinking about makeup. I don't even have lipstick on. That's unusual. But so it could be, you know, I mean, nobody made me feel that way in this place, but maybe it was me, and I didn't feel that way, but it reminded me of when I have felt that way. And sometimes it's when I'm not dressed upright. You know, that represents me. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, I think I'm going to wrap this one up. If you want to subscribe to this channel, click the circle. If you want to watch another video on this channel, click one of the rectangles. Like, subscribe, comment, and share if you would, and I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.